Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sarah here with Purple Angel Oracle. Um, have to give a shout out to all of my subscribers for the amazing comments I received. Like, I can't even express how much those mean to me. So, thank you so much. It's incredible. I love you all very, very much. Thank you. So, I'm going to get started here, and I've been getting a lot of information and from my higher self, source, the angels, the collective. So the first thing I do want to share though, and this can be for people that are just awakening or for those who have been awake and have these thoughts sometimes, okay? So when you first wake up, sometimes you get the thought like, am I delusional, right? Are we making all of this up? Are we creating this huge fantasy world? Okay. Is this something that because it feels good to believe it, we're just creating it? And my answer to that would be, if you truly look at all the signs, okay, that you receive and how your soul reacts to these things, you'll know it as truth. It hits you as truth. And there's just no denying it. And especially, I mean, everyone's different, but for me personally, I just can't. My entire life, I've been given signs. I've experienced that heavenly feeling several times. I've been visited by angels. There's just, I can't deny it. Like, this is it for me. This is me. There's no denying it. And for a lot of you, I'm sure that's how it is. But there's different people that think logically, and everyone's different, like we say. But it's just, if you really look at the signs and you really get in touch with yourself and see how your soul is reacting to it, you'll know it as truth. Okay. And if that's not good enough for you, then who cares if you created a fantasy world? I mean, doesn't it feel better living this way? Doesn't it feel better explaining these ascension symptoms that are going on? I mean, imagine someone who's experiencing these ascension symptoms and they're super uncomfortable and all these lower vibrational energies are coming out to be cleansed, and it's just, they're like, God, what is going on with me? And they're going to the doctor over and over and nothing's being resolved and they're confused. So if it's not enough, if you're not receiving enough confirmation from your soul, from the signs that the universe is giving you, then who cares if it's a fantasy world, honestly? Because it's a beautiful one, and it comes down to, how do you want to choose to experience your life here? Okay. But for many of us, yes, it's undeniable. We know this as truth, this ascension, all of it. There's no denying it. There just isn't for most of us light workers. Okay. But that definitely is a thought that comes up for people that are just awakening. Like, what is going on with me? Am I crazy? Am I making all this up? Okay. Just want to let, anyone that resonates with, let you know that no, you're not. Okay. And you'll start seeing that more and more. You'll start seeing the truth in it and that you can't deny it. Okay. So that is definitely just something I did want to share. I also want to give a shout out here to Hope Barron. I receive a lot of beautiful comments from everyone, and I truly, truly appreciate it. But these ones are just awesome because she points out the 17 synchronicities, and, Paul Butler actually has an amazing channel. I'll give a shout out to him as well. I believe he has two channels, and one of them is called Prime Disclosure, and then another one's just Paul Butler. But she, in my comments, she'll list links to videos where they mention, the number 17. And the picture that you're looking at right now, I was actually clicked on her link and I'm listening to the part where he talks about the number 17. And I had to pause it as I was listening to it. I had to go do something, and I come back to start watching it, and I had paused it at exactly 17:17. And that happens to me all the time. It's been happening more and more where this is happening. So it's pretty awesome. And I'm not making it up. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you guys. It's just these synchronicities are getting in your face more and more and more. But yeah, Paul Butler described the number 17 as being the source energy. And how I mentioned perfection, victory. Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to get a shout out to Hope because she really like gives the perfect times of when he starts talking about it and everything. And it just it makes it easy for me to go find it. So thank you very much. Um, goodness, I'm a little wheezy. Excuse me. Okay, another thing I'm noticing, and this has been going on for quite some time, obviously, where a lot of people are struggling with this, okay, how certain behaviors are presenting themselves to you to be released, right? So, like ego based old patterns that no longer feel right to you. And I'll give you an example of some that are really coming out for me. I have a tendency sometimes to jump to conclusions about people. Like, look at their past behavior and assume they're going to do this again, or they're going to, and I get really worked up about it sometimes. Like, no, we're not doing that because you did this before and you're going to do it again. And my ego takes over sometimes, like trying to protect me or whatever it's trying to do. Right. I mean, that's usually why the ego's there most of the time. And then my higher self kicks in and is like, come on now, simmer down, simmer down. Okay. That's just an example for me. And it's there to, it's been being brought up for me to review it and release it, because it's like we're always constantly changing. So for me to jump to a conclusion about someone is totally ego based, because you can't do that. You got to, believe that people change and that people are getting better. Okay. So that's just something that recently has been getting brought up for me quite often as well. There's also other things, none of us are perfect. We're still working through all these dense, low vibrational aspects of ourselves. And this is a natural process. Okay. But if you're noticing those things, something that comes up and you don't necessarily feel good about it, and it's like, it puts you in a bad mood, then that's something that, we need to be working on. We should, we're constantly going to be working on ourselves to get to where we're trying to get. And, it doesn't take that much effort. It's just being aware of it and having the intention of changing it. Okay. And not letting yourself go there over and over and over again. So that's definitely something I've noticed. Okay. So things are crazy right now, everybody. Okay. I pay attention to what's going on with the world and my own country and all of that. Things are really intense, and it's definitely being reflected. Like, we can see it happening here. And I think, as well, this is an individual process for each of us. So we're getting new upgrades and downloads, these energies coming in. So we're doing that. But at the same time, we're riding the waves of the energy, like, for the entire planet and all of humanity. Plus that new 5D energy coming in. So it's like making waves in a pool, right? When I was a kid, my older brothers would take the little boogie, whatever it's called, I don't know, the little noodles or stuff like that, and make giant, huge waves in the pool. And I'm a little girl and I'm over there and I'm like, God, almost drowning. I can't take it. Stop. Okay. It's getting too intense. That's what's going on here. Okay. Humanity is waking up, and it's causing these just waves of energy. And as light workers, because we're awake and we're feeling these energies, we're in tune with them. We know that's, what's going on here. And that's why things have been really amping up. Things have been feeling intense because this new 5D energy is coming in. It's waking the world up. It's bringing things to the surface, and we're feeling that. Okay. My dad and I were talking last night, and we always joke about stuff like this. It's like, can you sit down? Can you just calm down? Stop with the waves for a minute. Can everyone sit down and be peaceful for 1 minute? Just a joke though. But, in reality, we really do these waves. This is beautiful, because this means, even as uncomfortable as it is, it means things are getting shaken up. Things are waking up. Okay. And the resistance, right? The lower vibrational energies, the push gets stronger as the light gets stronger, as the frequency rises. Okay. And I've mentioned this before. So it's like all this upheaval, this fear, this sadness. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're paying attention to the, you know, what's going on in the world right now, the 3D world. But all of this is currently being thrown at us because it's trying to resist that new energy that's coming in. But it's all also necessary for us to get stronger, for the light to get stronger. It's perfectly planned. God planned this all out, okay? In an instant. We're just in like the process of it. But the main thing, and I'm sure you're hearing this from a lot of other light workers, because this is the theme right now. Don't let it consume you. That's how you give it the power. So just hold your light tightly, right? Close to you, within you, and surround yourself, those you care about, and the entire planet with love. That's all you can do. Keep your eyes on the bright lights that are guiding you on this journey, okay? Don't let the other stuff consume you, because it's the resistance is trying to stop this change, but the change has to happen. It's already happening. And we're already victorious, okay? It's just like how fires burn the old to create new growth, how they do prescribed burns to bring growth, or how natural fires happen to bring new life, okay? As messed up as that is and how sad it is for us, I struggle with accepting that as well, but that's the process of the earth. Now, I can't really, it's hard for me to accept that, but it is, it's true. A lot of these things are a natural thing. And, as far as the fires in Australia, I can't even, I'm like, it makes me kind of get nauseous when I think about it, because I don't understand. That's one thing I'm really struggling with. It's like, if everything's part of God's plan, right? Why did this happen? But I just have to keep believing it's all part of God's plan. That's all I can do, because it's just so hurtful. It makes you so sad. And my thoughts and my prayers are with Australia a lot. So shout out to all the Australians. I love you all, and I'm praying for you a lot, constantly. So yes, just wanted to mention that. But basically, yes, so the earth and all of her inhabitants are coming out of this chrysalis, right? This cocoon that we've been growing and changing within for so long. We're coming out of it. It's like that, just a natural process of growth that's going on right here. And there's also this song that came to my mind. It's called "If You Want to Get to Heaven" by Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Yes, but in the song, he says, if you want to get to heaven, you got to raise a little hell. Now, many can interpret this song in several different ways, okay? But what I got from it was in the sense of raising the hell, which would be the low vibration, the darkness, lower frequencies, raising it, pulling it out so we can clear it, okay? And it's when something begins to awaken or begins to come out of this chrysalis cocoon, it begins shaking up everything that needs to be released, right? And also, just as a human, we need, in order to gain wisdom and understanding and empathy, you have to get your hands dirty sometimes. You have to experience. You have to learn your lessons, okay? I might have shared this story in one of my videos before, but I do want to share it. My dad, when he, back in 1998, when he went through his Ascension jump, he got so much information from Source. And one vision that God gave him was about these two men in white suits. Okay, so they're up with God, wherever, and he sends them down. He's like, I'm going to send you down for a period of time, and then I'm going to bring you both back here to see what you've learned. Okay. And obviously this is just a metaphor here. So anyway, these two men go down on earth, and they're both living, experiencing, except one of them did everything perfectly. He didn't break the rules. He didn't, didn't get his hands dirty. Didn't do, he just kind of did everything straight and narrow there. And the other guy experienced it all. I'm talking everything this place had to offer. And so when he brings them back to figure out what they learned, the one who stayed on the straight path, right? His suit was still perfectly white, clean. And God asked him, well, what did you learn? And he had almost nothing to say. There wasn't much. I mean, he just didn't really experience enough to bring back anything that was very useful, right? And the other guy, his suit was basically shredded off, dirty, just almost naked, because it just was worn down so much. And there was God's information right there. He told him everything because he experienced it all. He's got his hands dirty, right? So it just goes to show you gain wisdom, you gain empathy, you gain all these necessary qualities by experiencing things and making mistakes. Okay? That's what I was kind of picking up from that song. But that's a fun song if you want to listen to it. I enjoy that song. Then my dad, of course, showed me that when I was younger. Okay, so moving on, I just wanted to pull some cards. I connected straight to source, straight to God, all right? To get just some confirmation and clarification about, what's really going on here. And, when I was a child, before I even knew I was connecting with angels and knew about galactic families and all of this stuff, God was always, and still is. I mean, that's who I talk to most of the time. That's right there for me. Like that, since I was a child, I've always had a very strong connection with God. And once again, God is just a word. I mean, everybody has different beliefs. Source, creator. I think you all know what I mean there. That's just my way. Gosh, I'm so wheezy. Excuse me. Man. So, and I just was shocked, not shocked. I mean, I was, God gives me messages, of course, but these cards could not have come out perfectly. Like they just flew out and I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you. So thank you, God. Thank you, source. So the first one up here, I'll read the dragon cards first because the bottom ones just kind of go hand in hand with those, but was the earth and water dragon. And it says creates the foundation for new growth, right? We were just talking about this. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. So as I was saying, being in this cocoon or an egg's a similar thing as well. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of hard work going on, right? Just like, a woman that's pregnant and there's a baby inside of her and there's so much going on. There's work, there's change, that's exactly what we've been doing since we decided to incarnate here on earth. Okay. We've been planting these seeds. We've been putting in the work. We've been gaining our wisdom and now it's ready to be harvested. Okay. Things are blossoming, new growth, new earth. This is why we did all this. And we knew this every time we were coming down here. We knew why we were doing it. We knew how long it would take because there is no time outside of this, but we knew, okay? And right under that is wisdom. So there you go. We were gaining all this. We were planting the seeds. So the next one is Alpha Dragon, which harnesses the divine masculine power of creation. Destroy the old, visualize your dream, and help to manifest a new world. Once again with the new. Like I said, they couldn't have came out more perfectly. So the Alpha Dragon, it carries the Archangel Metatron, Archangel Metatron's highest light. Okay, that's what this card is connected with. And it's bringing this new earth. We're bringing it into physical manifestation. That's what that's confirming. And as it says, this energy destroys the old. That's what we're doing. Okay, we're breaking away from the old and coming into the new. Because the planet, we've just reached that point of moving higher. We're ready to move on. We're ready to graduate. Just like high school. That was hard. High school was rough. A lot of work went into that. Okay. It's similar though. It is, because this is what's happening. And a lot of that's why the world feels like it's in upheaval. But at the same time, if you look at it from a higher perspective, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful because things are actually changing. We've been sitting in a period of the same thing, like a record that just keeps going with fear and sadness. It's like, no, we're done. Come on. Put the new music on, please. So that's what I picked up from that card. And then we're moving on to the Lilac Fire Dragon. Transmutes through the power of divine love. Open up to transcendent love and alignment. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. And below we have the peace card as well. So the Lilac Fire Dragon, it dissolves all these lower energies. It actually says that in the description of this card. So with love and this new higher dimensional energy, okay, dissolves all lower frequencies, the old, what we are done with. You see what I'm saying? These cards literally like came out so perfect. So if you need any more confirmation, here it is. And lastly, we got the Earth and Fire Dragon. So it says, works with you to clear the fifth dimensional ley lines. It is time for service. When you give, you receive. So this card, we're clearing the ley lines. So let me tell you, I'm sure many of you already know what a ley line is, but I'll put a link to the website below. Gosh, all these ads. Okay, so I'll just read a little part here. In 1921, amateur archaeologist Alfred Watkins made a discovery. He noticed that ancient sites at different points around the world all fell into a sort of alignment. Be the sites man-made or natural, they all fell into a pattern, usually a straight line. He coined these lines lays, later ley lines, and in doing so opened a world of supernatural and spiritual beliefs. To those who do believe in ley lines, the concept is quite simple. Ley lines are lines that crisscross around the globe, like latitudinal and longitudinal. I have never said those words. Why have I never said those words before? Lines that are dotted with monuments and natural landforms and carry along with them rivers of supernatural energy. Along these lines, at the places they intersect, there are pockets of concentrated energy that can be harnessed by certain individuals. And these ley lines are believed to connect spiritual or mystical places called vortexes, right? And a few of these would be Stonehenge, Mount Shasta, the Bermuda Triangle, Sedona, Arizona. And, I actually, for those of you who don't know, I live very close to Mount Shasta. So that's pretty awesome. You guys can look into, if you live close to any of these, there's a lot more than the ones I just listed. But so basically, ley lines are our energy roads, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So this card says clearing the ley lines, okay, pulling in that 5D energy, preparing the planet for the new golden age. And we're creating and we're clearing the path through which the higher love frequencies can flow. Out with the old and in with the new. We're clearing, okay, making room for these new energies to come in. And that's what's going on. So when you clear this negativity and this lower vibrational stuff, there's a resistance because we, as humanity and as a planet, we've been used to that for so long. You see it in our own behavior. A lot of people don't like change when they're used to something. Go kicking and screaming, right? Well, that's what's going on. But it's also a natural, necessary process that was perfectly planned. So keep that in mind. And then the cards below, of course, so I already kind of connected the wisdom and the peace cards with the ones above. Then we have faith and trust. Okay. And those go hand in hand beautifully, because actually the faith one is number 31 and the trust one is 32. So there you go. Oh my goodness. I just looked at the pictures too. Look at the faith card. And, you know, it's a pregnant woman, how I was mentioning a baby in there. And then on the trust card, there's a duck sitting over this woman inside of an egg. So there you go. Have faith and trust that we are birthing, we're creating, we're making this new earth. We're coming out of that egg. Okay? We've been doing the work. We've been growing and transforming. And these cards indicate have faith and trust that we are manifesting this. This is happening. This is happening. It's 1:11 p.m. on my clock where I'm at. Beautiful. So yeah, so that's, wow. Awesome. Okay. Just, I wanted to share that with you. Also, I'm interested in knowing, okay, what other countries are awakening? I've received comments from Australia, the UK, Germany, obviously the United States and Ireland, I believe. If any of you are from any other countries, like in the comments, maybe give us some updates on what's going on with your country, or how you're seeing people awaken, or, you know, I'm just interested in that because that's kind of hard to find information on that. And I would honestly just love to know. So I'll stop this with the Schumann. Schumann's at 63 today. We had some calm there. And I remember when it was calm, I'm like, well, it's not going to stay there for long. I just had this feeling. I'm like, something's going to come back. It's come back hard. And it did. So 63, that's where we're sitting on Schumann. So I wanted to share all this. I got all this information last night into this morning, and I'm like, I had to construct it. I pulled the cards. It all synced in. Of course it did. Loving these synchronicities. So yeah, that's about it. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.